Yo guys, welcome to Ashton Fitness. Today we're learning the muscle up. I've got 4 tips for you. These are the tips that I used when I was learning the muscle up, so hopefully they come in handy for you. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Look at it! Look at it! 100,000 subscribers, you know. 100,000 Bomberseed subscribers. That is nuts. First of all, I want to say thank you. Actually, no. What I have to say first of all is Mere video dekhne ke liye dhanyavad. What do you know about the hidden Hindi abilities? Yes, that was thank you for watching my videos in Hindi, because actually, funnily enough, most of my subscribers are Indian, which is sick. Like, I was so surprised when I found that out, because I know other calisthenics YouTubers in the UK, and most of their prime audience is either American or English. I'm the only one with a majority Indian subscriber base, and that's sick. So thank you for watching my videos. The second most subscribed demographic is, I think, in the US. It's sick. Like, I'm actually so happy that that is the way that it is. And also, thank you in German. I don't even know how you say that. Guten Tag. Guten Tag to everyone in Germany. Big up yourselves. Shouts out. If you've subscribed, thank you. And thank you so much for this, because it's crazy. There's 100,000 of you, which is, boy, it's funny because you hear YouTubers saying, oh, I never expected this. I actually did. And not to sound big-headed, but just because I always had a lot of belief in my content, and I knew that there were a lot of people in the world who wanted to learn calisthenics. So I was like, right, let me just start it. Let me see how many people I can reach. And I always had belief in my content. I always knew that it was really good. I always knew that it was highly informative, super helpful. And now we got the 100K flipping plaque, which is nuts. So yeah, thank you so much if you have subscribed. Thank you if you've just watched the videos as well. Make sure you subscribe low key though, because we're trying to get to 500,000 now. It's not going to stop. My addiction to plaques will never end. It's just only begun. But yeah, 500K next, which is going to be nuts. So, but yeah, thank you again for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Obviously, the cliche line that all of these people say, but it's true. Like, it wouldn't be possible without you lot. It's so cliche, but it's actually true. Like, this is all of you inside of this plaque. I've shrunk you down, and you're all inside here. Oh my days. What is this video? Anyway, let me get it back on track, because what I want to do is I want to talk about the history of this channel for those people who are interested. Then I'm going to talk about the video making process and what I do to make these videos, because a lot goes into them, and you might appreciate, or you might be interested to know how much work goes into these videos. And then lastly, I'm going to do thank yous and shout outs, because obviously there's a lot of people to thank for the success as well, because it's not just me. There's a lot of people who have supported me along the journey. So yeah, I want to do some shout outs towards the end. So I started calisthenics when I was around about 16, I think, and I started it with one of my best friends at the time, and we saw the Bar Brothers video, the original one, and also the Hannibal for King video, and our minds were blown. We were like, this is insane. We need to learn how to do this. So we got to work, and we were just building up ourselves, doing push-ups and all this kind of stuff, doing weighted dips, all this kind of stuff. And one day I decided to join Block Workout, which is basically, it started off as like almost like a community project. I might be butchering the explanation of this, but essentially it was a street gym founded to help youths get off the street and to do something more productive and more constructive than like joining gangs and stuff like this, where they could work out, where they could build each other up, lift each other up, and get the reps in and build great physiques and get strong. So I went along to one of their sessions, and the first one that I ever went to, I remember it. I was like, oh my God, I am weak, because everyone there was so strong, and they were doing dips, like they were doing pull-ups, they were doing front levers with ease. And I was like, oh my God, like I'll never forget it. I was like, I felt crushed, but I felt very optimistic, because I was like, oh my God, I've just realized how weak I am. But I've realized that I need to get stronger. So that's what I did. I was like, right. And I even had a message from one of the guys who I met there a couple days ago. He was congratulating me on the 100K, and he was like, yeah, I remember when you first came, like, you were like proper weak. And I was like, yeah, I was, because I couldn't do, there was this circuit that they used to do called the 10-to-1 circuit. If you're an OG viewer of the channel, you're probably aware of this circuit. And it was 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 dips. Then you circle back round, 9 pull-ups, 9 push-ups, 9 dips. Then circle back round, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, until you get down to 1. That's 55 reps of each. And it's brutal. It's a gauntlet of a task. I recommend it to every single calisthenics athlete because it humbles you. It is difficult. And I remember we did that on one of the first sessions that I was there. And I couldn't keep up at all. Like, people were zooming through it and it took me ages. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so weak. So I went away and I just trained. I trained 10-to-1s. I trained pull-ups, push-ups, dips. I wasn't trying to do anything fancy at the time. I wasn't trying to do any front levers. I was just training the basics. And I was like, I have to get strong at this. So the next time I came back, I was significantly stronger now. So then this time, rather than being at the bottom of the class, because everyone else, the first time they were all finishing it first, like I was one of the last people to finish it. Instead of being at the bottom of the class this time, I was third. I was third place, and I remember it because the only 2 people who beat me after that were the 2 trainers. One of them was Noah. Shouts out to you as well. One of them was Noah, and the other one was, I think his name's Ruiz. But like, they had been doing this for years, and like Noah had already got a front lever. So like, these guys were veterans. So I was like super gassed because I was like, I've actually gone away and I've trained. And I've come back, and I went from being at the bottom of the class to like the top. So that was a hugely transformative moment for me because that basically kickstarted my seriousness about calisthenics. From that moment on, I was like, okay, I can get good at this. The second revelation that I had during those block workout sessions was that I noticed that everyone was having an amazing time. And it was bringing everyone together in a way that I hadn't seen people get together before. And I was like, this is a whole new concept to me because I didn't realize that exercise could bring people together like this. And by the end of the sessions, everyone's endorphins would be flowing, everyone would be just super hyped, and everyone would feel great. And I was like, this is very interesting, but this is very cool because I was like, teaching people calisthenics can actually make a lot of people feel very good. So then that was the first time that seed was planted in my brain. I joined block workout just before I went to university. So with this kind of seed planted in my head, I was like, okay, I really enjoy this and I'm about to go to university, but I don't want to stop doing it. So I was like, right, is there a way that I can do this at my university? So then I was thinking of different ways, and that's when I founded the Exeter Calisthenics Society. Block workout was done for free. It was done with community donations. So if you wanted to pay something at the end of the sessions, you could do that. But I really liked the fact that it was free because I was like, this is great because obviously it helps to get people who are on the streets off the streets, and it's very accessible because it's free. Like if they had to pay, maybe they wouldn't want to get off the streets like that and do something constructive. But the fact that it was free, it was great for the community. And the fact that you're doing it with your body weight as well, it kind of made perfect sense because it's like you get your body given to you for free. So of course, like to be able to work out with it for free kind of makes sense. And that's how it kind of made sense in my mind. So I was like, if I ever do anything like this, I want to make sure that it's free as well. I want to make sure that people can work out with the body that they've been given and build up themselves, get stronger, and improve their lives using what they got. So I went to university and I started the Exeter Calisthenics Society. But when I first got there and I first proposed it to the Students' Guild, the people who were responsible for creating these societies, they rejected it. What? They rejected my first proposal because they said it was too similar to the Yoga Society. Oh my God. Which I thought was insane at the time. I kind of still do. But it's funny because now that most of my subscribers are Indian, I actually get like a lot of Indian people on my comment section saying, oh yeah, I know this move. This is a yoga move. So it's funny. It's kind of comes full circle. And now I kind of see it weirdly from the guild, the student guild's perspective. But at the time I was just like, what? This is insane. Like this is nowhere near similar to yoga. So incensed and outraged, I was like, fuck you. I'm going to do it anyway. So I started the society illegally. And basically what I did was I just printed out a bunch of flyers. I printed out like 160 flyers. I made them myself, printed them all out, and then I just stood outside of the university forum. Now, the forum is where all of the societies during Freshers Week, the first week of university, that's where they all are. They're all on the inside, and they've got their, like, the university provides them with like a banner and a table and all of this stuff. Like, they make their lives really comfortable and easy. I was outside of the forum just dishing out flyers. I was like, Calisthenics Society, Calisthenics Society. And I was just like, fuck it. If you're going to try and block the thing, no, it's not going to work. I'm going to Aikido your block. And I'm just going to keep, bruv, I was on it. So what I did, I was like, okay, the flyers are working. And this was over a couple of days because obviously we've got Freshers Week. So this is over the span of a couple of days. And I was like, the flyers are working, but I need a way to attract attention because obviously you got these guys on the inside of the forum. They got tables, they got banners, like they got eye-catching stuff. I've just got like me, like I'm in a vest and like I was looking kind of swole and that was actually getting some attention, but I needed a way to get more attention towards the society so that more people could turn up. So I was like, right, what can I do? So I came up with a plank challenge. Everyone can get involved in a plank. I did it so you could win a free t-shirt. I'm laughing because that t-shirt never actually, I got the dude's email and then like just, I can't even remember what happened. Like I think I was just slacked. So I apologize to the guy who won the competition in the end. I fucked up and I never gave you the t-shirt. So after a couple of days of flyering, I came back to the outside of the forum again, this time with a whiteboard with a t-shirt stuck to it and the challenge written on the whiteboard saying plank challenge, longest plank time wins. This was actually a sick idea because it attracted so many people because everyone wanted to see who could hold the longest plank. So we had loads of people and of course like loads of different skill ranges and abilities and strength levels. Like we had people holding it for a couple seconds, people holding it for a couple minutes. The guy who won it held it for like 13 minutes. Like I could not believe it. My record, I did it and I think I got between 7 and 8 minutes. This dude held it for 30 minutes and it was so funny because he was like the most unassuming guy. You would never suspect, like he wasn't jacked, like he kind of had like a low-key climber's sleeper build. Like he was just very slender, like you'd never assume, but he just held that plank. And as soon as he did that, like I was like, you're actually a G. Firstly, because objectively you're a G for holding this plank for as long as you did, but also because you've now created so much attention to this society. And I was just handing out flyers, like while this guy was like holding the plank, I was just handing out flyers because people were so curious. I was like, what is going on here? So thank you to that guy as well, because yeah, you're the reason why there's so much attention got generated. And then lo and behold, I was handing out all these flyers and then we had a huge turnout on the first day. So that's how it kind of started illegally. On that first day, there were hella people. That first day turnout was nuts. And it was just me. Like it was just me alone. Like the other societies, because obviously they are more established, like they had multiple people running it. They had people who would look after all of the stash and all the merchandise. And they have people who look after the finances because all the other societies you had to pay to get into. My one was the only free one and I'm proud of that. And it's still free to this day, but we'll get onto that. But yeah, like my one was the only free one. I didn't have anyone else with me doing it. Like it was just me. So the first day there was a massive turnout and I was like, I was prepared for it, but I was also like, there are a lot of people. So I need to make sure that this is a good session. So yeah, we just divided it up into two groups. Like we had the guys working out, we had the girls working out, and then like we'd mix them and then we'd do some stuff. But it was sick. Like it was a really sunny day. It was perfect. It was an outdoor spot. And obviously you're always at the mercy of the weather when you're outdoors. So I was just praying. I was like, oh, please, like, please don't rain for this first session. And it was a beautiful sunny day and it set the tone. And like a lot of people really enjoyed it and they just bringing everyone together like that. Like they all loved being together. I loved bringing everyone together and I could see they were all buzzing by the end of the session because sometimes people discover things that they didn't know they could do. They unlock new strength that they didn't know that they had, like, and everyone was buzzing. So I was like, this is it. Like I'm going to run with this because I really enjoy teaching this and I can see how much of a positive impact it's having on everyone else. So I started that society and it's just grown ever since. Like the stuff that the presidents who have come after me have done with the society is mind-blowing. I'm going to talk about that later in the thank you section because they have taken it to a whole new level that I couldn't have even dreamed of. So shouts out to you guys. When I started the Exeter Calisthenics Society and saw how many people were loving the sessions, how many people were growing and benefiting from them, I was like, okay, I wonder if I can do it on a global level. And obviously I was aware of YouTube. I was even making YouTube videos long before I was making calisthenics videos. It was just like stupid little skits and stuff like that. I know how great this has made me feel. I know how great this has made other people feel. I can see it happening in front of me. I'm like, okay, cool. How big can I take it? So I was like, right, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. And I filmed my first video on the university campus with two of my best friends, and it was the muscle up video. My first ever video was this muscle up video that to this day is one of the best muscle up videos on YouTube. It's so good, and it's packed with so many tips, and it's helped so many people. And the advice in that video, it's so good that if I can see that someone has the potential to learn a muscle up on that day, and they don't think that they can do it, but I can see their potential, I just use the tips from that video and they learn that muscle up in the same day. Like, it's such a good video. So that was the first video that I came out with, and I just knew that I was onto something, because I knew that I was never going to be the biggest in terms of like size. I knew I was never going to be the most shredded. I knew that I might not even potentially be the strongest calisthenics athlete, but I knew that I could convey information in a super clear way. And that's become my kind of niche over time. Like, I know that the way that I convey information, tips, and the way that I present the videos is super clear and super helpful. And that was something that I identified at the time. I was like, all these calisthenics tutorials are good and they're great, and I've learned a lot through YouTube, and that's also why I wanted to give back, because I was like, I've learned a lot on YouTube. I kind of want to contribute to that. But I was like, sometimes the explanations are kind of lacking a little bit, and I thought that I could explain things in a clearer way than some of the other like really big like calisthenics guys. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna give it a try. So I released that muscle up video, and to this day, legit one of the best muscle up videos. If you haven't seen it and you want to learn the muscle up, watch that video, because it will bust you with knowledge. Anyway, so that was the start of the channel, and since then it's just been growing and growing and growing. Don't get me wrong, it has been a grind to get it to this level, especially at the beginning, because when you first start a YouTube channel, essentially the algorithm is against you. It's definitely never boosting your content, so you just have to keep plugging away constantly. You just have to keep going. Like, even though you're putting your heart and soul into these videos, you're editing them to the best of your ability, you're getting 14 views on a video max. Like, and because it started from a genuine place, because I really genuinely wanted to help people, it wasn't an issue, because I was like, I'm not doing this for the numbers, I'm doing this because I genuinely want to help people. So that didn't put me off. But it is a reality, of course, like when you're putting your heart and soul into content and you're not getting very many views, and you know that you could be helping more people, it's kind of like, sometimes it can be kind of frustrating. But ultimately I was like, it's blessed anyway, because I know that if I just keep doing it, it's gonna work. And one of the first people who showed me that was JG Calisthenics on YouTube. Shouts out to you as well. Your name is in the shout out list towards the end of the video anyway, but I'm gonna shout you out here because you were the one who showed me through proof and just through your sheer dedication and effort that it's consistency that pays off when it comes to creating a YouTube channel that goes somewhere. And when I saw you like just smashing out these videos all the time, I was like, wow, like, because your channels kept growing, like it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I saw you get like 10k subscribers and 20, and I was like, wow, like this is insane. So you were the one, JG Calisthenics, shouts out to you, who showed me that it's consistency that pays off. So I saw that and I was like, right, I need to stay consistent with this stuff, and I need to just keep pumping videos out there. I know people are seeing them, and even though it's a small amount of people, that's still great because it's still helping some people. And I know over time it will build, and then eventually I'll be able to help more people. And of course, lo and behold, that's what's happened. I reached a very interesting point when I started working 9-to-5 jobs as well. When you're in university, you have all the time in the world to pursue your hobbies, your interests, everything else. But as soon as you start working a 9-to-5 job, boy, all of your time goes to that 9-to-5 job. So I realized that very quickly when I first started working a 9-to-5 job, and I was like, I cannot continue to put in the same level of effort and consistency into my YouTube channel that I know that it needs to grow working this 9-to-5 job. So I was like, oh God, like, but I need the money, obviously. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I remember like really stressing out about it, because I was like, it felt like it was either the 9 to 5 job or the YouTube channel. And I was like, fuck, I don't know what to do. So there was one day, and shouts out to my boss, man like Socrates. Yes, man like, because there was one day where I was stressing out and I was like, I came to the conclusion, I was like, if it's between the 9 to 5 and the YouTube channel, I'm just gonna have to do the YouTube channel, because I was so driven at the time. I was like, I have to do this. So I was like, right, I was psyching myself up to ask my boss whether I could take a day off work during the week. So instead of doing 5 days a week of work, I would just do 4 days a week, and then I'd work on my channel 3 days a week, so Friday and then the weekend. But I was like, I've just started this new job. The boss is gonna think that I'm just taking the piss because I've just started and now I'm asking for a whole day off of the week. Like, he's gonna think, what? He's gonna fire me on the spot. Like, I was so stressed and I was racking my brain. I was like, how do I phrase this? How do I phrase this? It was super stressful. So one day I just went to the boss and I was like, can I have a chat with you? And we went to a cafe. And I just said to him, I was like, I'm so passionate about this YouTube channel. I really want it to work, but I don't think it can work if I'm working here 5 days a week. Can I please take one day off to focus on my YouTube channel? That would give me 3 days, and then that should be enough during the week to be able to keep releasing videos weekly and to keep on being consistent. And I was just holding my breath after I said it. I was just expecting him to fire me on the spot. And then he was like, yeah, no, you can do that. And I was like, what? I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was so relieved and so gassed. And I was like, he's actually so cool for allowing me to do this, because I would completely understand if a new employee, you just hired someone new and they're like, oh, actually, I don't want to work 5 days a week. I need to work 4. It's like, what do you mean? I was like, no, get out. But so that's why I was like, I can understand if he fires me on the spot right now, but he didn't. And because he didn't, that allowed me to stay consistent. And then that's when I filmed the video that went viral. It was a couple months later, but that's when I filmed the 5 calisthenics skills beginners can learn at home video. And that's the one that went viral. And it was largely, in part, thanks to Socrates. So shouts out to you, Matt. I don't know if you're watching this video, but I'm going to send it to you anyway, so you're going to watch it. But yeah, shouts out to you. Thank you so much for that, because yeah, like, after I filmed that video, the 5 calisthenics skills beginners can learn at home video, it didn't take off immediately, but in 2020, when the pandemic happened and everyone was at home, obviously the video is called 5 calisthenics skills beginners can learn at home. So I filmed it in like 2019 or whenever it was released, but it wasn't until 2020 that the YouTube algorithm and the combination of the pandemic and everyone being at home just skyrocketed it. And then I remember, like, it was nuts. Like, I woke up one morning, suddenly I had 10,000 subscribers. I was like, where the hell have these subscribers come from? Then I started looking, and then I saw it was that video, the 5 calisthenics skills beginners can learn at home video. And that was just blowing up, and I was like, raw, this is sick. And then it was literally, I was just getting 10,000 subscribers a week. It was nuts. I didn't even know that that was possible. Like, that was a real surprise. And it was just blowing up and blowing up and blowing up. 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 30,000. Soon I had 50,000, and I was like, this is nuts. But it was like, again, because I had put so much time and effort into the channel and into the videos, it was also kind of expected, because I was like, I've put so much into this. Like, I've put my heart and soul into these videos. Like, I'm so passionate about this. So, and I know the information is good, and I know the information is helpful. So I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense that this is happening. But obviously I wasn't prepared for the scale that it, and the speed that it was happening at. So that was really, really cool. So once that all happened, it's kind of just been gradually building. Well, not even gradually, because the growth rate has been crazy. Like, even now, like, I'm still getting like 1,000 subscribers a month, which is nuts. It's slowing down a little bit now, but yeah, I've been riding that for a long time. So it's just been building and building and building. I've just tried to keep as consistent as possible with the content, but OG viewers know that I have had some hiccups along the way, which I will talk about, because if you're wondering why there have been long periods of time where the content hasn't been as consistent, I'm going to explain why now. In 2017, I went traveling for the first time, and that was sick. I went to Thailand, I went to Bali, I went to Laos, I went to Vietnam. It was amazing, just seeing all these incredible tropical places that I'd never been to before, seeing all these mountains, beaches, just eating all this amazing food, amazing sunlight, amazing cultures and people. It was incredible. And I was traveling around. Very long story short, I met this girl who I fell in love with, and I went to Vietnam to go see her. She was a German girl, funnily enough. Again, there it is, like there's the German connection. My second biggest audience of Germans, and the girl who who happened to fall in love with was German. So yeah, I went to Vietnam to go link her, but it didn't work out, and I was just devastated. So I remember one day, like I went to some cave to meditate because I was just like, I can't deal with this. Like I need some isolation. I just need to flip it, meditate this off. It didn't work. I still felt nuts afterwards, just heartbroken. And yeah, so anyway, I was riding around on this moped to get to and from the cave, and on the way back, I went to turn this corner, and then the bike just slipped from underneath me. There was no like way I could have pulled it back. It just slipped because I turned a corner and it was on a sandy path, and I just fell on my shoulder, and it was this shoulder. And it was funny because at the time, like I didn't think anything serious of it, and at the time when I fell, like I screamed. I screamed out loud because it was just so unexpected. I was like, ah! So I screamed, and then this car of Vietnamese people were like behind me, and they saw it. And then the two people at the front, the driver and the passenger, were like showing concern, and then the two people at the back were just laughing at me because they heard the scream and they just saw what must have looked like the dumbest crash on earth, like just some dude turning the corner and slipping on sand. So anyway, I picked myself up, dust myself off. My shoulder felt a bit mashed, but I didn't think anything of it. And then I woke up the next day, and the next day my shoulder was finished. Like I couldn't lift it past here, and I was like, oh shit, this is not good. I've never had an injury like this before. This is wild. Like I physically couldn't lift it past here, and I was like, oh no, surely it's probably just like bruised or whatever. Like it will take a couple days to get back to normal. Once it does, I'll be back. Like, I'm going to be back on the bars in a week. A week passes, still can't lift it from here. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not good. So I went from doing human flags with ease, handstand push-ups with ease, to now not being able to lift my arm like this. And it just went on for months. The worst part was, no one actually knew what was wrong with it. Like I had countless scans, I had MRIs, I had ultrasounds, I had x-rays, like all the scans you can possibly have. I went to loads of different videos to try and get their opinions, trying to work out what was going on. No one really knew. It was so frustrating because like no one, like at least if you know what's up, you can then take measures to treat it. You know how to treat it, you know what to do, but no one knew what was wrong with the shoulder. So it was like super frustrating because not only was I not able to work out, not only was I super heartbroken from the traveling experience, I now also had no idea how to fix this. So it was insane. Like one of the worst periods of my life ever. Like I lost everything. Like I went from being able to just, oh man, it was so frustrating. Like I was holding the front lever with ease. I was doing one arm pull-ups. I was doing the human flag with ease. I was doing like all of this back lever, straight arm back lever pull-ups. I still haven't seen anyone do that to this day, by the way. I was doing straight arm back lever pull-ups. Normally people do them with bent arms. I was doing them straight arm. So I was so advanced, and I was on my way to becoming, like genuinely, I would have been one of the strongest calisthenics athletes in the UK. I know this for a fact. I know that for, it sounds arrogant to say, but I know it for a fact. Just in the way that I knew that the channel would grow if I put in the work, I knew for a fact I would be one of the strongest calisthenics athletes. So when this happened, it was just devastating. Like I could have, and then no one knew how to fix it. Like I didn't know how to fix it. No one knew what was wrong with it. No one knew how to fix it. So I was like, it went on for ages. Like eventually I had to do loads of rehab exercises for my shoulder, which involves strengthening all the tiny little muscles that support your shoulder, because there's loads of tiny little muscles in your back and behind your shoulder that support your shoulder. You never think about it if you've got healthy shoulders because they all just work normally. But after having such a fucked shoulder for so long, all of the muscles just went out of whack. Like they stopped coordinating with each other and they stopped functioning all cohesively together. So it was just making the problem worse. Like my scapula was winging, like everything, like my back and shoulder was just destroyed. Like, so it took at least 2 years to get back to a point where I was then doing front levers again and all this kind of stuff. And it was excruciating. That was genuinely the worst period ever. Like, it was depression, everything, heartbreak, everything. Like, it was just the worst. But I managed to get back, and I actually managed to get low-key stronger than before. My planche wasn't the same, but I managed to low-key get stronger on certain movements than before, which was crazy, because I was like, finally, like, all of this hard work that I've put my heart and soul into for so long, it's finally paying off, because now I'm even stronger than before. And then what happened was my other shoulder went, and I could not believe it. Like, it took me every fiber of my soul to recover from that injury. I gave that 110%. I gave that more energy than I believed that I could have given anything in my life. Like, I was burnt out to fuck at the end of that process. And then the other shoulder went, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and it was basically like a couple months after this one recovered. So then this one went, and I was doing tiger bend push-ups, and then I just tiger bend handstand push-ups, and I was like, I can feel this, and I know what this feeling is like, and it's in my other shoulder this time. And I was like, no way. And then after that, then it just got worse and worse and worse progressively over time. I still don't really know what did it. I don't know if it was just years of overcompensation, because I was always putting more strain on this side to compensate for this side. I don't know if it was I was doing some human flag training, I was rebuilding that, and I don't know if I put too much strain on myself there. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was those tiger bend handstand push-ups, but something happened, and then this shoulder went, and that's what I've been recovering from ever since. It's now 90% better. 90% better. But it's taken a long time. Again, it's taken like even longer this time. And I don't even know why, because it wasn't a motorbike crash that did it this time. Surely it should have taken shorter. But all of that backstory, and again, this period of time has just been difficult, to say the least. I'm not even going to get into it, because it's genuinely like the period between destroying this shoulder and then this one has been some of the hardest times of my life. Like, depression off the charts, like to unfathomable levels. So it's just like, it's been so difficult to rebuild, and that's why the content has been relatively inconsistent. Like, before all of this, I was on it every single week, bang, 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 video. Now it's so much more inconsistent, because I can't train when I'm fatigued, I can't film when I'm fatigued, because I risk aggravating the shoulder. There's so many blockers with this shoulder. Like, basically every single upper body calisthenics skill involves your shoulder, so it's very difficult now, or it was more so in the near past. Like, now it's getting better, but yeah, it's been so difficult to stay consistent with the content, because yeah, it's just been an uphill battle with rehab exercises, with everything. And obviously when you're rebuilding from not being able to do a single pull-up or a single push-up to going to the full front lever, it's going to take some time. So that's why I haven't been too consistent with the uploads, because obviously I want to be able to demonstrate a lot of these skills, but I just couldn't. Like, I couldn't demonstrate push-ups, I couldn't demonstrate like bent arm planche stuff, I couldn't demonstrate loads of stuff because of the shoulder. And for years as well, because first it was like this one that took 2 years to recover, now there's this one that's taken like, I don't know, like another 2 years to recover. So it's been very, very difficult, and that's why the content has been quite inconsistent. So I apologize for that, but now that it's getting better, I am wanting to, and now that I've got new goals for the channel as well, and my life in general, I want to get more consistent with the video uploads, and that's what I have been doing recently. So yeah, it's on an upward trajectory. My shoulder is getting better, thankfully, so that's good. But this is why, and I've never really fully addressed it in a video, so this is why. So apologies if that's kind of frustrating. That's the reason why. So that brings us to 2024. And it brings us to the plaque, because in the background, despite all the shoulder injuries, and I was trying to keep as consistent as I physically could with the content, despite all of that, the subscribers, all of you guys, you've been watching, you've been sharing, you've been commenting, you've been subscribing, and that's all just been building up in the background. So I'm so grateful that so many of you are enjoying the content and so many of you have subscribed. Again, thank you so much. It's just amazing. Now that we've got the history of the channel out the way, you'll notice that it's a little bit darker, and that's because the camera battery died while I was filming. Let's get on to how I make these videos, because it's actually very difficult to make this content. And what I'm about to say, I don't want this to put anyone off making this type of content, but I just want you to see how much time and effort goes into making this content, because to even make calisthenics content in the first place, just before you even turn on the camera, you need a lot of experience doing calisthenics. Like, you need, if you want to learn skills like the front lever, the planche, and all that kind of stuff, you need at least 2 years of experience under your belt, at least. Like, and that's if you're a super fast learner. If you're an average kind of speed learner, maybe like 4 years. Like, you need a lot of experience before you even turn on the camera in order to teach it, because obviously if you're teaching it, you need to be able to hold these skills with good form and everything else, and this takes time. So even before I turn on the camera, obviously I've had to train for many years to be able to make this content. And when I'm making the content, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. For tutorials, I always script them, because it's super important that I'm conveying this information in the clearest way possible so that you can understand everything that goes into a skill and everything that I think is important for you to know, so that you can take it away into your own training and absorb it into yourself so that you can progress. And in order to do that in the best way, like, I just script all the videos. So that in itself takes a long time, writing the script and making sure that it's super clear. I always make sure to make them as clear and concise as possible, because I know that most of my audience, they're from India, Germany, the US, and other places in the world. So I'm going to make sure that it's like super clear so that everyone can understand it. Sometimes it will slip and I'll do like London slang and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, like, on the whole, I generally try to make the information as clear as possible so that people around the world can understand it. So time and thought goes into all of that. Also, filming the videos themselves is pretty tricky, especially if I'm making a tutorial on something advanced like the front lever or anything, because the front lever is a very difficult skill. You can only do it with super clean form a couple of times before the form starts to degenerate, or before you can't hold it long enough to get a good take on camera. So really, on average, I've got about 5 chances to get a good shot, because obviously you gotta line the camera up, make sure that the angle's good so you can see your whole body, but make sure that it shows off the front lever in a good demonstrative way, and making sure that you get different angles of it so that people who are learning it for the first time can see all the different ways that your muscles are working, that your arms are positioned, that your legs are straight, all this kind of stuff. Like, you have to make sure that the camera angles are on point, and then you've got 5 attempts that day to get it right. And if the camera angle's off, or you're having a weak day, like maybe you got some fatigue and you can't really hold it properly, yeah, you're not getting those shots. So it's quite difficult to film advanced stuff in particular, because yeah, you've got like 5 and you got to get it right on that. Like, if you set up the camera, you hit record, you have to get it right on that take. If you don't, you got 4 more takes, so you better get it right. Otherwise, yeah, you can write off filming the front lever tutorial for that day. So that is very challenging in itself, but it's also quite cool, because when you can pull it off, then you feel obviously very rewarded. You also need a lot of endurance as well, because that's just one element. Like, obviously you got to get those 5 shots like at the beginning. I always start off with the hardest shots right at the beginning so that I've got enough energy, and then you have to film the rest of the tutorial, and then the rest of the tutorial is going to have like loads of progressions in it. It's going to have like tuck front lever pull-ups in it. It's going to have all this stuff that you've got to film from multiple different angles. So a regular workout, you might do 4 sets of front levers, then you might do 4 sets of advanced tuck front lever pull-ups, and then you might do another front lever variation. But when you're filming, you've got to do like 20 sets. Like, you've got to do so many sets of front lever stuff, like, and that's just for the front lever. Like, it could be for anything. Like, it could be for the planche tutorial, you've got to do loads of sets of planches. For anything else that's advanced, like, you've got to do way more than you would actually do in a normal workout. So you have to have that endurance as well, and of course that comes with years of time and experience, but it's difficult to do that. And you've got to make sure that you're doing it with as clean form as possible, because you're demonstrating it. So you want to be able to show people the right way to do it. The only real like hate comments that I get on this channel are people criticizing my arms when I'm doing the front lever, because they are not 100% straight. Now you know, after watching this video, that the reason for that is because it aggravates my shoulders, and I can feel it like really pulling on the tendons and everything. It just doesn't feel right. So I can lock out if I force it, but then I'm risking injury and there's no point. So yeah, I kind of keep my arms a bit bent. That's the only criticism really that I get or that I've gotten historically on this channel. And so yeah, that's something that obviously like I want to improve in the future. But on the whole, I do try to demonstrate these exercises with the best form possible, with perfect form, so that people watching it can watch and learn the right way. But of course, that's hard to do. Like, you got to do all of these takes. You got to do like 20 sets of front lever variations with perfect form. And that's hard. Like, so there's a lot of effort that goes into these videos. And then there's the editing as well. And the editing takes a long time, depending on how much editing that I want to put into a video. But all of that takes a long time as well. And then, of course, then I've got to make the thumbnails, which I'm kind of rubbish at, but I do my best. And they always take a long time because I'm not a graphic designer. So it takes me a long time to figure out like how to place things in certain ways and how to try and make things eye-catching and all this kind of stuff. And my skills are still pretty basic, but yeah, it does the job. And of course, then there's all the background stuff that there's no way you would know about. But again, if you wanted to ever do like fitness content creation and all this kind of stuff, like there's stuff like the SEO element of things. So when you're writing your descriptions, I typically tend to write longer descriptions than most other YouTubers for two reasons. Firstly, because I sometimes include extra information in there that you might find helpful. Secondly, because sometimes I enjoy the fact that people read them, because I know that some people do read them. So I like that. And thirdly, I'm pretty sure I said that there were two reasons why, but I'm dashing in an extra one just for fun. The third reason is because I can maximize my SEO. And if you don't know what SEO is, SEO stands for search engine optimization. So when you're writing your descriptions in your videos, ideally it's best to include certain keywords that are relevant to the video, so that when people search for something like front lever tutorial, your video comes up because you've included certain specific keywords in your description that tells YouTube that's what your video is about. So when someone types in front lever progression, your video appears on the first page of results because you've told YouTube that that's what your video is about through those tags. So it will rank you next to all the other videos about the front lever and front lever progressions and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of thought that goes into that as well. And it's the same with the video tags. It's like hashtags on Instagram basically. And you'll do certain keywords for that as well. So there's a lot that goes into making these videos, but it is fun. I enjoy it. Like, it is really, really cool. So that's the kind of video editing process that I go through normally to bring these videos to you. Now it is time for the shout outs. This is part of the video that I've been looking forward to the most. You would have noticed that I've changed outfit because I've been filming this video over the last 2 days because I've been trying to remember everyone who I want to shout out, and I've been writing it down on a list, and I don't want to forget anyone. So I'm really, really, really sorry if I've forgotten someone. My brain is a sieve. But I've tried to include everyone that I can on the list, and I'll be reading out the list on my phone because it's a wedge list and there's no way that I'm going to remember everyone's name off the top of my head. So let's begin. Obviously, the first people I want to shout out are my closest friends, Ibrahim, Jack, Michael, Shakeem, Greggs. These are my brothers. We've grown up together. We've been through thick and thin together, and I'm just so grateful for them. Immensely grateful. I can't even put it into words. They know how much I love them. This one is for you boys as well, because yeah, you guys have been supporting me since day one. You brothers know how much you mean to me, innit? So yeah, thank you for all of the support and the love over the years. Shouts out to my actual biological brother, Jordan. You've always supported the channel. You've always believed in my ability to do well, and 100,000 subscribers later, here we are. Big up to man like Charlie, aka Chazron. Charlie was my best friend, my first best friend ever. So yeah, that's wild, and we've kept the link ever since. Big up Charlie, I love you, bro. Big up to another one of my best friends as well, Manuel, another childhood friend, Blancon. Jeez, man, like Blancon. Again, it's just been so amazing just to grow up with all of these people and grow up with people who you were so close to back then and still are so close to. So big up yourself, Blancon. Thank you to my ex-boss Socrates as well, because as I said earlier in the video, I was a new employee at his company and he let me take a day off the week. He let me work 4 days a week to focus on my YouTube channel. And because of that, I was able to film the video that went viral. So I really appreciate you, Socrates. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for being a chill boss as well. Now, this one's a big one. I want to say thank you to everyone who's ever been involved in the Exeter Calisthenics Society, whether that be committee members or people who have attended. I want to say a big thank you and a big shout out to everyone, because especially the committee members, and I'm going to shout you all out individually because I was going to do it as a collective, but no, you deserve to be shouted out individually, and I hope I got everyone's name. But you guys have taken the society to levels that I could never have dreamed of before. You guys are smashing it. Really, really well done to you, and I have to shout you out. So this is in no particular order, it's just the order in which the names came to me. So Felix, David, Jamie, Freddie Hackett, Freddie Nelson, Nick, Meg, Annie, Josh, David, James, Brandon, Viom, Sana, Will, Clark, Daniel, Joe, Aski, Aiden, Lauren, Harley, Katie, Pablo, Pervank, Alex, Oliver, Marco, Millie, Francisco, Zangir, and Ruben. thank you so much for everything that you've done for the Exeter Calisthenics Society. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for other people as well, because obviously you're impacting other people's lives, you're improving other people's lives through this. And thank you also for keeping the society free, because that was super important. Like when I first started it, I wanted it to be free and accessible for everyone. So the fact that you guys have done that, you've taken it to this next level, and you've still kept me in the loop, I'm very, very grateful, like infinitely grateful. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see what you guys do with it next. And I'm very intrigued to see where it goes in the future, because now you've got the UCA, you've got, there are so many opportunities with all of it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for what you have done. Next person I want to shout out is Aphrodite. Big up Aphrodite, one of the loveliest people I've ever met. You've been so supportive for years, so thank you so much. You're a legend. Shouts out to Thaddeus as well. You are a G, literally one of the funniest people I've ever met on my entire 28 years of existence on this planet. Big up to Emily as well. You know exactly why I'm bigging you up. I'm not even going to go into it, you know. I'm not even going to go too into it, but you know exactly why I'm bigging you up. I hope you are staying squeaky clean in Dubai. Dan as well from Thailand, Guardian Angel. Dan was the man, and he's so intelligent, so full of wisdom. I'm so glad I met you while I was traveling. Same with Shona as well. Big up to yourself as well. Olive, shouts out to you. You've been smashing it with the gym, with the yoga, with life, with everything. So big up yourself. Well done. You've come a long way. Big up to Moana as well. You were super supportive during university, and I appreciated it massively. Like, you helped me get through that university experience, which you knew was very peak. So thank you so much for all your support as well. And thank you also for bringing the pole girls to the Calisthenics Society as well. Oh, I'm getting notifications on my phone. Oh dear, rookie mistake. I should have put that on silent, shouldn't I? Oh dear, the video is ruined now. But anyway, back on track. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for bringing the pole girls through, because yeah, that added a whole new element to the Exeter Calisthenics Society dynamics and just added a whole new level of enjoyment and fun. Thank you to Adissa as well. You've been super supportive since day one, always bigging me up with my channel, with my music, everything. I really, really appreciate that. And you were right there with me when that first video started going viral and I was getting 10,000 flipping subscribers a week. You were the one who was keeping me updated with that, so thank you so much. Big up to everyone I met traveling. You guys are all legends. We had such a good time. That was one of the best periods of time ever. That was the pinnacle of existence, that whole experience. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you obviously to my parents, that goes without saying. I want to thank Noah from Block Workout as well. He might be surprised to hear his name on this, but you genuinely did inspire me so much. Like, I will never forget, you were the first person who I'd ever seen do a front lever in real life. And when I saw that, I was like, yo, I have to learn this skill. So thank you for being an inspiration for me as well, and for kickstarting and helping to kickstart my calisthenics journey. By extension, of course, big up and thank you to Terrell Lewis for starting Block Workout as well, because if that hadn't existed, who knows, maybe I wouldn't be pursuing calisthenics to the level that I am today. So thank you for that as well. Major thank you to Jackie, to Heather, to all the lovelies and the whole family and the kids, because you guys have always been super supportive and you've had my back since day one. So I really, really appreciate your love and support. Big up little matey, man, like the flyest on wheels. Yes. Man, like, you are an inspiration to everyone. I can't wait for you to start that YouTube channel, because I know for a fact, I know that you will blow, you will go viral, because your personality is so lit and people will just want to see how you get around life and how you smash life. People will love it. So make sure you start that YouTube channel, because I know it will take off. Thank you to JG Calisthenics and Abnormal Beings, because both of you really, really helped to motivate me to build my YouTube channel. Like, I saw the way that you guys were approaching it, I saw how consistent you were, and it unlocked that next level in my mind where I was like, right, if I want to get somewhere with this, I have to be as consistent as these guys. So thank you so much for your inspiration. Big up to Cuba as well. We met online before I had even started Ashton Fitness, like when I was still doing guitar videos on YouTube. So yeah, it's crazy how we've kept the link and how we've just grown as friends since. So thank you for all of your support as well throughout the years, because it's just been consistent and I really appreciate that. Major shouts out, she will never see this, but major shouts out to Susanna Toos from the Central London Osteopathy and Sports Injury Clinic, because she was the only physio who was able to help me heal my shoulder. I went to a whole bunch of different physios. None of them were able to correctly identify what was wrong with my shoulder when I first injured it, and she was the only one who was able to give me constructive feedback about how to strengthen it and what to do. So if you have any shoulder related issues or any kind of issues in general that requires a physio to see and fix, I highly recommend Susanna Toos from the Central London Sports Osteopathy Clinic. She knows what she's talking about. She's so intelligent. She's always reading up to date on the latest stuff. She's always studying. I highly recommend her. I'm going to leave her details in the description of this video and on screen. If you need to see a physio for anything, go see her. And lastly, I don't need the phone for this one. Thank you to everyone who's ever commented, everyone who's ever subscribed, everyone who's ever said anything encouraging to me or has said anything positive about the channel. Thank you so much for all of your support. If you're watching at home and you've been a long-time viewer, or even if you're a new viewer, if you've ever checked out the channel, thank you, because obviously, again, I know it sounds cliche, but it is actually, this is only possible because of you guys. So thank you so much for getting me to 100,000 subscribers. And it's crazy that there are 100,000 of you. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting some more content out there to you. Now that my shoulder is pretty much almost recovered, I am now in a much better position to be more consistent with the content. So that's why I've been, I don't know if you've noticed, like I've been putting more stuff out there recently, but yeah, now I'm in a much better position to take it more seriously. And that's what I'm going to be doing as well, moving forward with the channel. I'm going to be getting on board with like sponsorships and all this kind of stuff. I was never doing that before because the main goal of the channel up until now, and it will always be the main channel, the main goal, but I really wanted to focus on this because this was super important. This is the most important thing. And that was, I wanted to help people get better, get stronger, get fitter, get mentally better. I wanted to basically just create content that helps people. So that was my main goal for the channel. And now that I've got 100,000 subscribers, I've done it to a big degree and I will continue to do it. So now that I've reached this major milestone, now I want to take things more seriously. I kind of want to get a bit more professional with it, and I want to be able to start making a living from this as well, because yes, I've been working this 9-to-5 life, man. And that's not to knock anyone who works a 9-to-5 life. Like, I've done it for a few years now, and yeah, I'm just like, boy, if I've got another way to potentially make a living doing something that I really enjoy while helping people, then I'm going to try and pursue that. So that's the next evolution for this channel. So that will obviously mean doing stuff like product sponsorships, and it will mean doing stuff like selling courses in the future, and obviously all of this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the next evolution, and I'm excited to take it there with you guys, because I know that a lot of you guys often ask for workout plans and extra advice and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, that will be coming in the future. So that's something to look forward to. But for now, thank you so much again for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing, commenting, liking, everything, because it helps the channel. All of these things, sharing, liking, commenting, everything, it helps the channel grow, and subscribing, of course. So thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to pumping some more stuff out to you in the future, because I got a lot more tutorials and a lot more helpful content coming. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.